Hello and welcome to my 2024 Kentucky Derby preview. I'm going to give you my picks and thoughts on each of these 20 runners in this year's Derby field. If you just want my selections and bets, skip to the end. But stick with me, you're going to want to hear all I have to say about these 20 horses. As a little aside, I haven't made a video in 6 years, but I went back and found that video. It's no longer on YouTube. Unfortunately, lost to the annals of time. But as we can see, kind of fucking killed it. Had Justify on top, he won. Good Magic and Audible finished second and third, and Instilled Regard blowing up the Superfecta at 70 to 1 for $20,000. So I hit it, yeah? Hell no, I faded Good Magic for some reason in all my bets. I don't remember why I didn't like him. I guess that asterisk was on there for some reason. But I digress. Anywho, gonna go through these 20 runners in post position order. Gonna not show any replays because I want to keep this kind of quick. But anyways, going on the number one, Door Knock. Everybody hates Door Knock. I don't particularly like him. I was trying to convince myself that he could get out there, but he's just gonna be dealing with a really tough inside draw. Even if he breaks great, he's gonna have horses coming on the outside of him. He's probably gonna get buried. And honestly, he hasn't made much improvement from his 2-year-old to 3-year-old season. His Fountain of Youth was a win and a terrible rendition. And he didn't show anything in the Bluegrass that would make me think that he can handle this Kentucky Derby. On the Sierra Leone, we have a big contender here. Now, I don't know if he's a contender for this race. I did make a good score on him in the Bluegrass, and he has handled adversity in the past. But my big problem with him is I don't know if he's going to get the right trip. This is a big horse. He can't get stopped. And Tyler Gaffalione, at least when I bet on him, likes to take his horses wide and make the move a little too late. Now, if you watch his Bluegrass replay, he has him in a good position. He's sitting around 5th, 4th, coming around that churn. But he really doesn't churn it on until that last furlong. I'm scared he might be making his move too late. I want to have Sierra Leone as an underneath play. I don't think he can win. Mystic Dan, 20 to 1. I like him quite a bit, actually. A lot of people are seeing his Southwest in the mud, where he kind of ran a freaky 117 time for him. I think the buyer was really high as well. But I look back and see this 2-year-old race at Churchill. Ran a nice 111 figure, finished up really fast on the fast track. I think he can handle it. Only question I have with him is his breeding. Being a colt by Golden Sense, I'm not sure if the mile and a quarter will be ideal for him, but I do know what will be ideal is Brian Hernandez Jr. on him. I think he can carve out a really nice trip, maybe come up the rail, maybe snag 3rd or 4th. I'll have him as an underneath play. I'm not going to keep y'all waiting much longer. My top pick is Catching Freedom. I love this horse. I did love Angel of Empire last year as well, though. Very similar profile. I'm just a huge fan of his improving pattern. Even if you go back and watch these replays, he's not very professional in this Oaklawn race. In this Fairgrounds race, he's not switching leads. He's drifting back and forth down the stretch. And in this Louisiana Derby, he really put it all together. And I'm seeing maybe the reason would be Flavien Prat. I was listening to the Timeform US Pace forecast. It came out on Tuesday, and they gave out some crazy stat. I didn't fact check it, but Flavien Prat's ridden 6 derbies, and he's come in the trifecta 5 times. I mean, this is a jockey who really knows how to ride the Kentucky Derby, and especially with a horse who looks to be improving like this. He closes really fast. I'm hoping he can get a hopefully not too wide of a trip, save ground to that first corner, and maybe swing out or come up inside some horses down on the far churn and really be in there for contention. He's going to be my top pick. On the Catalytic, I'm going to toss Catalytic. I understand why some people might like him. This Florida Derby figures fast. But some handicapping concept that I don't hear brought up a lot is horses that run second, third to horses who run really fast races, like Half Fierceness did in that Florida Derby. And there's a wide margin back to that second and third. I believe horses like Catalytic get sucked up in the fast figures. A notable example I can think of is Nashville back in like the 2019 Breeders' Cup undercard. Ran a ridiculous 130 time for him. Fast buyer, of course. And those horses that ran after him were just complete rats. And it's not saying that the figure that Fierceness ran is phony fast. I'm just saying Fierceness probably ran that really fast number that he ran, and Catalytic and Grandma the First got sucked into fast numbers running second and third. I'm going to toss Catalytic. I probably spent too much time on him already. We're going on the Just Steel. Big fan of Just Steel, actually. I think he had legitimate excuses in the Southwest. He was outside. He wanted to be on inside the track that day. That's where Mystic Dan was, where he romped. And this Rebel, he broke from the 12 hole and then just had a wide trip, both turns. He had no shot. And in this Arkansas Derby, he was closing just as fast as Muth was. Muth would be not far behind Fierceness, probably the second choice in this race, the Derby. But as we all know, Baffert's not running. No opinion on that right now. But Just Steel got a lot of experience. I think the coach, D. Wayne, could be cycling him up to a big performance here. I love the mile workout he just put in here as well. Just Steel is going to be an underneath play, maybe an outside win shot for me at 20 to 1. I'm going to take him. And on the Anna Marie, he's everybody's wise guy horse right now. He's working great. Everybody knows he wasn't cranked up for this Risen Star whatsoever. He still ran decent. And in this Louisiana Derby, he put together a really good performance. Just got outrun by Catching Freedom. Thing to know about him, he's a pretty small horse, which, maybe he could work out a trip. It's a 20-horse field, so working out a trip's always hard, but maybe he could come up that rail on the far churn, maybe get a little inside of horses, get that rich strike, mind that bird trip, and Anna Marie could blow it up at 20 to 1. I expect him to come down maybe under around 15 to 1, given how much buzz is on him, though. And on the Just a Touch, man, I think Just a Touch might be the most talented horse in this race. We have a really good maiden race from him at Fairgrounds. In this Gotham, he was 10-11 wide. Given, I never know what to make of that Aqueduct track in the winter. I never bet it. I get fucking smoked there every year. So I've learned better. But in this Keeneland race, he was sitting off super fast pace and took the lead coming into the home stretch, and he just got run down late by Sierra Leone. I could see him sitting that perfect tracking trip, maybe coming around 4th or 5th, all the way around, taking the lead at the top of the stretch, and he'll have to hold on. I think Just a Touch has a pretty good shot to win, but not as good as Catching Freedom. T.O. Password seems to be everybody's horse to finish last. I'm going to agree with that. I don't need to spend too much time on him. He's a front runner in his races, and he's barely holding on for dear life in this last race at Nakayama. I'm seeing some plus 850 for him to finish last on Bovada. I might jump on that for a unit. We're going to Forever Young now. We have a serious contender coming out of the UAE Derby again. I was high on Dermasoda Gake last year, and I got disappointed again. Seems like every year we're getting disappointed by these UAE Derby horses. That being said, I was more impressed with his Saudi Derby, where he ran down Bookham Dano, who's I think is a really fast miler to sprinter here in the States. And then mid down, he didn't beat much, but I think he did it the right way. He was wide the whole way around and was just better than those horses. Now, the main concern I have for him is the trip he's going to get. The trainer has gone out and said he doesn't think the horse can handle kickback very well. Well, you don't want to be sitting 5-6 wide going to that first turn at Churchill Downs. You can't do that. You got to be 3 wide. You got to be 2 wide. I just don't know if he's going to get the right trip. I think he's got a ton of talent, though. I'm going to have him as an underneath play. Track Phantom. He does pass my my shitty theory that you have to have a good name to win the Derby. Probably the best name in here. But that being said, he's just slowing down way too much in his races at the end. I don't think he's going to be able to hold on. This Risen Star, he set a slow pace, still got run down by Sierra Leone. In this Louisiana Derby, another time when he got caught late. I just don't see him holding on for anything. On the West Saratoga, I'm actually quite a fan of West Saratoga, just not in this race. I think he's a very honest horse. Maybe I'll be looking to play him underneath in the Ohio or Indiana Derby. Endlessly, I'm going to completely toss Endlessly. trainer, Mike McCarthy, has come out and said if he was a dirt horse, I would have run him on dirt already. Seen him worked 40 times on dirt. Hasn't shown anything. Seems like the owner really picked the spot here. He's going to win or hit the board without me. Domestic product, Andy Serling's pick to win this race. Not going to be my pick. I don't think he even hits the board. I haven't seen a lot of talent from him. This Tampa Bay Derby was dreadfully slow. He couldn't even beat Hades in this Holy Bull. He will have to do it without me. Grambo the First, just worse than domestic product. We don't even need to talk about him. And here we get the Fierceness. Still don't know what to do with Fierceness. But when I have this many questions about a favorite in a 20-horse field, I'm probably not going to use them. I understand his figures are fast, freaky fast, compared to anybody in this field. But I just can't take a horse who throws in absolute clunkers like this Holy Bull and this Champagne. You're not going to get an easy trip in the Derby. You don't see horses win easy in the Derby. Even horses like American Pharoah, Justify, these horses are driving down the lane. Fierceness doesn't really look like a great finisher to me. And I definitely don't want a horse that's not a great finisher in the Derby. So I'm not going to be using him. I'm going to actually have him run out in all my picks. And we're getting on the Stronghold. Stronghold's a little light in figures, but he does have the improving type. Here, we're seeing improvement for every race up here. In the Santa Anita Derby, I don't think it was super strong. But I do think at his price he offers great value to hit that trifecta, superfecta. Resilience, kind of like Tampa Bay Derby. Not going to take anybody at the Wood Memorial. Don't think that was a strong rendition. He was just best of the rest, He ran that Risen Star and was just not up to snuff with Sierra Leone, Catching Freedom, Track Phantom. Society Man, even worse than Resilience, not going to touch on him. And Epic Ride. I actually think Epic Ride has a good amount of talent. He, back on this January maiden race, popped a 112 time form figure. And since then, he always finishes his race fast. His race is fast. And in this Bluegrass, I was impressed with what I saw for him to actually be up there near the pace and hold on for third. I think if he can get out in the gate, maybe get over around 19 horses, not go too wide into that first turn, he's going to be a good shot to hit the numbers at a massive, massive price. So, I'm going to get to my bets. Top pick, obviously, Catching Freedom. Straight plays, Catching Freedom to win. I'm going to project he's going off around 9-1, 10-1. And these are all on Bovada here. Top 3 for Catching Freedom, plus 260. Top 5, plus 130. Top 8, minus 170. And then on Marie, top 8, plus 120. And maybe a little 1 unit play on T.O. Password to finish last, just for fun. And not a serious play. Horizontal uses... my pick 4 is pick 5. It's going to be taking Catching Freedom, Just Steel, on Marie, Just a Touch, and Forever Young. Also a great name, by the way. Good name play. And my verticals actually quite like this trifecta I cooked up. I'm going to wheel them, which means I'm going to have Catching Freedom in the first, second, and third slots with these 8 horses in second and third, and first and third, and first and second. For 50 cents, those 3 bets are going to be $84. I might do it for $1 and make it $168. And the Superfecta, don't know if I want to play a Superfecta, but if it hits, it'll pay dump trucks of money. So it might be worth it. Taking your right. Just with the same 8 horses and the 4 horses I like the best out of these. Guess you could play all 8 here and double the price of the ticket if you want. I'll be tossing these 11 horses. And my best bet of the day is in race 6, the 10 Vava. Just thought I'd throw in this horse when I have a hefty wager on her. If we get a load here. Yeah. So I heard in this Madison she wasn't fully cranked up. She still almost ran down Alva Star. Alva Star is going to be the favorite here. I do expect Vava to take money. We might be getting 5-2 on Vava. I love tie 5-2. I'll take 2-1 even on her. In this race, she looked like she wasn't going to do much and still almost ran Alva Star down at the wire. We see her going wide here. I think there's no more perfect rider for her than Irad Ortiz. And skipped ahead a little too much. But you see here, just really cutting away at the deficit here on Alva Star. And I think her running style really suits this Churchill course. And we're going to get a peak effort from her against a field that she beat mostly. Most of this field last time out. Only horse I'm kind of scared of is Flying Connection. But, anywho, that's my picks and plays. And let me know who you guys like in the comments below. I always love to hear and read other people's opinions. Drop me a like, and happy Derby.